want you to believe you're safe, that the world is stable, that tomorrow will look like today, that your job, your relationships, your comfort will last forever. But deep down, you know that's a lie. Because the ground beneath your feet is made of paper promises, and it's already cracking. One wrong step, one unexpected storm, one blind side you didn't see coming, and everything you rely on can be stripped away in an instant. We are all just one step away from disaster. The stakes? They're always high, even when you're numb to it, even when you're scrolling, smiling, sipping coffee, pretending it's all fine. Disaster doesn't send a warning. It kicks in the door at midnight. It whispers, "You should have been ready," while it tears your world apart. But here's the brutal truth. The weak version of you won't survive that moment. No. You need the dangerous version. The one you've kept locked in a cage for too long. The one that doesn't flinch. The one that doesn't ask for permission, or wait for motivation, or need validation. You need the savage inside. The one that stares fear in the eyes and says, "I dare you." You see, comfort is the drug, and most of the world is overdosing, trained to obey, to please, to comply. Software dull, slow, but not you. Not if you wake up now. You must train your mind like your life depends on it, because it does. You must prepare like the storm is already on the horizon, because it is. You must become so strong, so focused, so mentally ruthless that when chaos arrives, you are the chaos. You don't rise to the occasion. You fall to the level of your training. So tell me, what are you training for? Are you preparing for war in a world that rewards weakness? Are you building the mind of a warrior while the world begs you to be another sheep? Because safety is an illusion, and only the dangerous survive the purge. This isn't about violence. This isn't about ego. This is about unlocking the part of you that's been starving to be unleashed. The part that doesn't panic. The part that takes ownership. The part that chooses pain when it's easier to quit. The dangerous version of you knows the cost of playing small. It knows what's at stake. It's not afraid to suffer. It's afraid to stay the same. So, the question is not whether disaster will strike. The question is, will you be ready when it does? Because your comfort will not protect you. Your excuses will not save you. Your distractions will not shelter you from the collapse. Only you can do that. The real you. The trained, sharpened, unbreakable you. So dig deep. Wake up. And unleash the part of you that they warned you about. Not for revenge. Not for attention. But because the stakes are too damn high to stay soft. This world belongs to those who refuse to break. Those who walk through hell with calm eyes and burning hearts. Be that version of yourself. Not tomorrow. Not when it's convenient. Now because the world is changing. And when the collapse comes, only the dangerous will remain standing. So now you understand the stakes. Comfort is the cage, and disaster is always one step away. But awareness isn't enough. You can't just know the truth. You must become the weapon forged by it. That starts with a shift, a rewiring, a total transformation of how you respond to pressure, pain, and resistance. If you want to dominate your goals, you must establish discomfort as your compass. You must make the hard path your chosen path. Here are the 5 phases to turn discomfort into your fuel, your edge, your ultimate advantage. Phase 1. Reject the comfort lie. Comfort isn't the reward, it's the trap. This is where the war begins. Not on the battlefield, but in the quiet corners of your mind. The The enemy? It's not out there. It's not time. It's not other people. It's the lie you've been fed, and the worst lie you've believed. That comfort is the goal. That peace is found in ease. That the soft life is the good life. No, it's not. What they don't tell you is that comfort is the slow poison. It doesn't kill you instantly. It numbs you just enough to make you stop reaching, stop pushing, stop evolving. It teaches you to settle. It seduces you into stillness. And that stillness becomes your cage. Let me paint it clearly. Comfort is a dream dressed like a reward, but it is a silent executioner. It doesn't come for your body. It comes for your drive, your edge, your potential. You were not born to be ordinary, but the comfort lie keeps you chained to mediocrity with a silk rope. It's soft, it's easy, it's warm, and it's strangling the life out of everything you could have been. Think about it. How many times have you quit something great because it was uncomfortable? How many dreams have you buried because pursuing them felt uncertain? How many days have you wasted in idle distractions, falsely labeling them as rest? And worst of all, how often have you called comfort self-care, when in reality, it was self-sabotage? You must understand this truth with bone-deep clarity. Comfort is not your friend. It's not peace. It's not healing. It's not safety. It's a trick, a tranquilizer for the soul, a padded prison you decorate with distractions, calling it happiness. Rejecting the comfort lie is not a one-time decision. It's a daily rebellion. It's saying no when the world offers ease. It's choosing the hard path, not because it's flashy, but because it's the only path that leads to power. You have to train your perception like a soldier sharpens a blade. Start seeing comfort for what it is: a distraction, a trap, a seduction designed to pull you away from your edge. Every time you feel the urge to relax when there's work to be done, fight it. Every time your mind whispers, just skip it today, silence it. Every time the world offers you soft pleasures to keep you sedated, walk away. When you feel the tension rise, don't flinch. When you feel the pain of effort, don't retreat. When you face uncertainty, don't collapse. That's the moment most people lose. That's the line most will never cross. Because they've fallen so deep into the comfort trance, they can't imagine living any other way. But you're not most people. You're here because something inside of you is already rejecting the lie. Something primal, something relentless, something dangerous. That part of you, the part that knows comfort, is the enemy. It's been buried under years of noise, but it's still there, waiting, watching, ready to burn the lie to the ground. So what do? You choose pain, you choose struggle, you choose discomfort again and again until it no longer scares you, until it becomes the signal that you're on the right path. You stop asking, is this easy? And you start asking, does this challenge me? You stop craving softness, and you start craving the sharpened edge of resistance. Because the day you stop running from discomfort is the day you stop running from your potential. When you reject the comfort lie, you don't just change your habits, you change your identity. You're no longer the person who waits. You're no longer the person who negotiates with weakness. You're no longer the person who needs things to be just right before taking action. You become the kind of person who moves forward in chaos, who grows in the dark, who becomes stronger when others break. That's the path. That's the price. And that's the promise. The soft life won't save you when the storm comes. The cushioned routine won't prepare you for war. Only fire does that. Only resistance. Only discomfort. So kill the comfort. Smother it in discipline. Bury it under focus. Burn it at the altar of your higher self. Because until you reject the lie, you'll remain its slave. And the life you were born for, the one that demands your strength, your greatness, your full force, it will remain out of reach. Not because it's impossible, but because you refused to leave the couch to chase it. No more. Comfort ends here. War begins now. Phase 2. Train in controlled fire. Discomfort is the forge. Step into it willingly. Now that you've rejected the comfort lie, it's time to step into the arena. Not of chaos, but of deliberate hardship. This is where you train in the controlled fire. Not the fire that blinds and consumes, but the fire that forges steel. The fire that burns away the weakness you no longer have time to carry. Understand this. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to the level of your training. And if that training is soft, if it's sporadic, if it's based on emotion or motivation, or how inspired you feel today, then when the pressure hits, you'll fold. Every single time. You want to be dangerous? You want to dominate? Then, your training must exceed the intensity of the battle. That means choosing pain before life forces it on you. It means creating storms for yourself while the weather is calm. You train your body. You train your discipline. You train your focus, your reactions, your ability to sit with discomfort without breaking. Because the real goal isn't just getting stronger, it's becoming unbreakable. So how do you train in controlled fire? You build routines that test your will, daily. Wake up earlier than comfort allows. Push past the point of mental fatigue. Fast when your body screams for indulgence. Work when your mind begs for escape. Confront your fears while others are hiding behind theirs. You impose the pressure before life imposes it on you. And here's the twist. It's not about achieving perfection. It's about building response patterns. You train so that when the crisis hits, you don't flinch, you move, you don't freeze, you act, you don't panic, you dominate. Because repetition creates reflex, and reflex becomes identity. And when your identity is forged in fire, nothing external can dictate your outcome. Controlled discomfort is the arena where warriors are born, where your old excuses are murdered one by one, and in their place stands something harder, sharper, leaner, smarter. Not just more disciplined, more dangerous. This isn't about punishment. This is about refinement. This is the laboratory where you conduct experiments on your own limits, where you watch yourself bend, crack, stretch, adapt, and survive. Until one day you realize, what once felt impossible, now feels natural. Because you became bigger than the pain that used to break you. So what happens when others avoid resistance? They stay the same. They decline slowly and blame everything around them. They drown in mediocrity and wonder why nothing ever changes. But you seek the heat. You walk into the fire with your eyes open and your jaw clenched. Not because you love pain, but because you know that on the other side of it is power. And the truth is, if your training doesn't make you uncomfortable, it isn't training. It's maintenance. And you weren't built for maintenance. You were built for domination. And domination requires fire. Not once. Not when it's convenient. But daily. So turn your mornings into boot camps. Turn your habits into warfare. Turn your mind into a chamber of focus so intense that distractions melt in its presence. No more gentle upgrades. No more waiting for life to toughen you up. It's time to go first. To choose pain before pain chooses you. Because when the battle comes, and it will, only those who trained in fire will walk through it with calm eyes and a killer's purpose. Phase 3. Transmute pain into precision. Every ounce of pain has a purpose. Extract it. Now that you're stepping into the fire daily, you're no longer just surviving pain. You're learning to harvest it. Because pain, real, raw, honest pain, isn't your enemy. It's a signal, a compass, a coded message from the battlefield of your life, screaming, "There's power buried here. Dig." The average person runs from pain. They numb it with distractions. They bury it under noise. They mask it with cheap pleasures and half-baked affirmations. And by doing so, they lose the very feedback loop that could have unlocked their next level. But not you. Because in Phase 3, we don't run from pain. We interrogate it. We study it. We extract every drop of wisdom, focus, and truth it has to offer. This is what it means to transmute pain into precision. Start here. The next time you feel pain, failure, betrayal, shame, fear, don't flinch. Don't react. Pause. Feel it fully. And then ask it questions like a strategist, not a victim. What is this pain trying to show me? What pattern led me here? What weakness in me did this moment expose? Where am I out of alignment? Where am I hiding from truth? Because every time you suffer, there's a reason. And most people will spend years avoiding that truth just to protect a fragile ego. But you must be ruthless with yourself. You must become the kind of person who turns wounds into maps. When you fail, don't just get back up. Get back smarter. When you get rejected, don't just move on. Move forward with surgical insight. When you feel fear, don't suppress it. Study it. Trace it to its roots. Shatter it. This is the difference between the average and the elite. The average man suffers. The elite man refines himself through suffering. He doesn't let the pain define him. He lets it direct him. And here's the truth. No one wants to say out loud. Your pain is not unique, but your response to it is what makes you lethal. Most people spend their lives avoiding the very moments that would have revealed who they truly are. But you become something more by standing in the flames and absorbing the lesson that would break lesser men. This phase demands brutal honesty. You must hunt your insecurities, stalk your self-doubt, corner your emotional triggers and cut them open. Only then will you start to see patterns. Only then will you recognize that your pain was never the problem. Your blindness to its message was. And once you learn to decode pain, you'll move through life with a clarity most men will never touch. You'll begin to see the world not in confusion or fear, but in high-resolution truth. You'll make better decisions, faster decisions, bolder moves. Because every lesson you carved from your own suffering will become a weapon in your arsenal. So let this be your new mindset. Pain doesn't weaken you. It informs you. Pain doesn't stop you. It sharpens you. Pain doesn't delay you. It aligns you. And the more you extract precision from your past failures, your past mistakes, your darkest nights, the more you'll become untouchable. Because clarity is power. And nothing brings clarity like pain endured with discipline and purpose. So the next time life hits you, don't just survive it. Don't just get through it. Bleed on the battlefield and collect every drop of insight. Because that's what separates the wounded from the warriors. The wounded repeat the same cycles. The warriors evolve. You are not here to suffer and forget. You are here to suffer, learn, and strike back with precision. And when you master that, there is nothing this world can throw at you that you won't turn into fuel for domination. Phase 4. Rewire your internal reward system. Make suffering taste like victory. Now comes the turning point, where pain becomes not just a teacher, but a craving. Where discomfort becomes more than just accepted, it becomes desired. Because here in Phase 4, we rewire your internal reward system. We teach your mind to crave the fire and hate the cold comfort that once sedated you. Let me break the spell. Your brain was not designed to make you successful. It was designed to keep you safe. It chases what's easy. It avoids what's uncertain. It releases dopamine for shortcuts, validation, and momentary pleasure. And that's the problem. The version of you that's trying to dominate, that version can't survive on the same reward system that fuels mediocrity. So what do? We reprogram it. We hijack the brain's reward circuit and bend it to serve your higher self. This is how elite warriors are born. Not by talent, not by luck, but by flipping the switch inside their own minds. Here's how it starts. You stop rewarding ease. You stop celebrating comfort. You stop giving yourself a pat on the back for showing up halfway. And instead, you start celebrating pain. You celebrate early mornings when your body screams to sleep. You celebrate workouts that leave your lungs on fire. You celebrate the hard conversations, the discipline, the restraint, the deliberate suffering. Every time you push through discomfort, reward yourself. Not with pleasure, with pride, with silence, with the inner nod that says, "That's who I am now." You begin associating success not with relief, but with resistance. It won't be easy at first. Your mind will resist. Your body will beg for softness. But keep going, because repetition rewires everything. Your brain is plastic. It's moldable. And if you expose it to enough deliberate, chosen hardship, it will start to link pain with growth, and growth with identity. Eventually, your mind will start hunting discomfort like a predator. Why? Because it finally understands. Discomfort equals progress. Pain equals expansion. Resistance equals strength. Let me give you a practical example. Two men go through the same workout. One hates every second and tells himself, "Just get through it." The other relishes every rep, knowing that with each ounce of pain, he's building an armor no man can touch. Same workout, different reward systems, different destinies. You must become the second man. And this rewiring isn't limited to physical pain. It applies to mental discipline, emotional regulation, spiritual stillness. Start rewarding the moment you resist the urge to scroll. Reward the moment you say no to cheap pleasure. Reward the moment you do the work in silence while everyone else screams for attention. That's how you evolve. Because the truth is, pleasure that costs you your edge is poison, and pain that builds your future is sacred. You must retrain yourself to see the sacred in the suffering. And here's the brutal beauty of this phase. Once your mind associates discomfort with growth, you become limitless. Because now you don't just endure pressure, you chase it. You don't just overcome resistance, you live for it. You don't just move through pain, you feed off it. Your entire identity shifts. While others wait for motivation, you wake up hungry for adversity. While others beg for peace, you become the storm. While others collapse under pressure, you expand through it. And when this rewiring is complete, there's no going back. because your brain will no longer reward the easy path. It will only recognize and respect the path of discipline, pressure, and conquest. That's the mind of a killer. That's the mind of a builder. That's the mind of a dangerous, evolved, unshakable force of nature. Rewire your reward system. Make suffering taste like victory. And nothing will stand between you and everything you've sworn to build. Phase 5. Weaponize the new you. Comfort was your cage. Discomfort became your compass. Now you are the weapon. You've burned the illusion of comfort. You've trained in the fire. You've harvested pain and forged clarity. You've rewired your brain to crave discomfort, like a savage craves war. Now it's time for the final phase. It's time to take everything you've built, every scar, every lesson, every ounce of pressure you endured, and weaponize it. Not to impress, not to prove, but to execute, to dominate your goals with cold precision, to become a walking embodiment of control, discipline, and force. This is the phase where you stop training like you're preparing, because now you are prepared. This is where everything becomes intentional. No more guessing, no more wasted movement, no more energy leaks. You've earned your edge. Now you sharpen it, maintain it, and wield it like a blade. Weaponizing the new you means mastering direction. You're no longer moving just to move. You're aiming with sniper precision. Every representative, every task, every breath has purpose. You wake up and act, not react. You move first. You decide first. You build first. You no longer wonder what to do. You know what to do, because your values, your vision, and your standards are now burned into your psyche. You've become something rare in this world. A dangerous man with control, a disciplined force, a grounded storm. This kind of power must be channeled, because now that you've turned pain into fuel, discipline into instinct, and resistance into identity, you are lethal. But raw power without direction, that's chaos. So weaponization means strategy. You start building systems around your goals. You track everything: your sleep, your money, your emotions, your output. You start building routines that are so tight, so focused, that they eliminate failure by design. Because now, it's not about willpower. It's about infrastructure. It's about being too prepared to fail. And when you fall off, you get back up faster. Why? Because failure is now feedback, not identity. You don't spiral, you adjust. You don't question your worth. You refine your approach. Because now your ego isn't tied to perfection. It's tied to progress. This is weaponization. It's not loud. It's not chaotic. It's deliberate. It's calculated. It's relentless. And here's the part they won't understand. You're not addicted to the grind. You're devoted to evolution. You're not trying to prove anyone wrong anymore. You're too focused on proving your vision right. You're not fueled by revenge or insecurity. You've moved beyond that. Now you're fueled by duty, by legacy, by the sacred responsibility to become everything you were meant to be before the world told you to shrink. This is when people start to notice. But it doesn't matter, because you didn't do it for them. You didn't suffer for applause. You didn't rewire your soul for likes. You did it because you saw what was possible, and you refused to die without becoming it. So what does the weaponized version of you look like? He doesn't wait for motivation. He acts out of principle. He doesn't flinch at fear. He studies it, then destroys it. He doesn't need validation. His identity is built in fire, not praise. He doesn't chase goals. He executes them. Every moment is either fuel or waste. Every action is either sharpening the blade or dulling it. And he knows exactly who he is, because the world didn't give it to him. He carved it out of stone. This is where the work no longer feels like work. It feels like truth. And the man who lives in truth cannot be shaken. Not by failure, not by critics, not by pressure, not by time. Because the weaponized man doesn't bend with the world. He bends the world to him. You started in chains. You chose pain. You rejected comfort. You reprogrammed your brain. You forged precision. And now, you are the weapon. Aim yourself. Fire with purpose. And leave no piece of your potential unused. The world doesn't need more safe men. It needs more dangerous men under control. And now, that's you. Comfort was never your ally. It was the slow poison keeping you tame. You've seen how the world rewards softness with obscurity, and how those who crave ease rot in place. But not you. You've chosen a different path, a darker path, a path carved by blood, pressure, and precision. You rejected the comfort lie, burned the illusion to the ground. You trained in controlled fire, built your mind and body under chosen suffering. You transmuted pain into precision, turning every wound into wisdom and every setback into a strategy. You rewired your internal reward system, learning to crave discomfort and celebrate resistance. And now, you've become the weapon, sharpened, focused, and deadly in your execution. This wasn't a motivational speech. It was a warning, a call to arms. Because the truth is simple. The stakes are always high, and only the dangerous survive. From this moment forward, you no longer chase comfort. You hunt pressure, you follow the fire, and you let pain guide you straight to your destiny. You are the outlier. You are the disciplined. You are the weapon. Now move like it. The world is watching. But more importantly, so is the future version of you. Make them proud.